Well, my next guest is one of the most popular and influential financial experts in all of America. His award-winning radio show is heard on over 500 stations as well as online. Through radio, television, best-selling books, speaking engagements, and his line of common-sense budgeting tools, this man has helped millions of people get out of debt and build more secure futures. With all the recent changes in the economy and the tax code, I kind of figured that maybe we'd all benefit from picking his brain. Would you join me in welcoming America's financial guru, Dave Ramsey? Dave, how good it is to have you here.
Well, I'm honored to be here.
You know, your help to people has probably done more to change the economy than anything Congress has ever done.
That's a low bar.
Boy, you know what? That's true, it is. But you have helped people understand that being in debt is a trap. It's like a shackle. Why is that such an important part of your message?
Well, we just figured out the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line, and that is the shortest distance from being broke to having some money is not giving it all to the bank. I mean, it's really deep.
Yeah.
And so this whole concept of the borrower is slave to the lender. When you don't have any payments, you got money.
Now, you kind of came by this from a personal experience, I think.
Yeah, I was stupid.
Well, you're not anymore,
well,
that's for sure.
We started with nothing. Sharon and I, we were broke like most people when we first got started, eating off a card table, driving a 1902 Pinto. For you young people, that's a car, not a bean. And so, but we started buying and selling real estate, and I got rich. I ended up with about $4 million worth, but then I ended up borrowing too much money, and I spent the next 2.5 years of my life losing everything. And so with a brand new baby and a toddler, and a 28-year-old kid scared out of his mind and a marriage hanging on by a thread, we got the opportunity to start over with nothing. And we learned our lesson. I got a PhD in DUMB. I don't borrow money anymore.
Recently, Congress passed a tax reduction bill.
Yay.
And tell me what your assessment of that bill is. Does it help American families? Is it a false sense of security? Evaluate it for us.
Well, it's a pretty simple thing for me. I mean, I talked about this on the Dave Ramsey show, and we put it on YouTube, and the silly little talk ended up with like 5-6 million people watching this little talk. So, but because everybody's got their head stuck so far up their politics, they can't think anymore.
I'm glad you said politics. I was really, really worried where that was headed, Dave.
Yes, you know, but I mean, sometimes some of my conservative friends don't think clear, and sometimes some of my liberal friends don't think at all. And so, you know, it's just... And, you know, they get on their little talking points. So here's an idea. Let's take $100 million. Yep. That's a lot of money. It's not anywhere near the tax bill, but it's a big pile of money.
Yeah.
Put it in the middle of the floor. Now, we could send that to the government. And what would we get for it? In the economy, how would it stimulate the economy? $25,000 toilet seats. We'd never see that money. We wouldn't know where it went.
Yeah.
Right? Or I could give 1 million people $100. Now, what would that do to the economy? That guy with $100, he might save it. He might spend it at a restaurant and leave a lady a nice tip that's waiting at a table, and then she might go down to the hardware store and spend it. And the guy that owns a hardware store, he might take those profits and spend it. That's called stimulating the economy. It's pretty much common sense. Yeah. You got 2 places you can send it. You can let the guy that earned it keep it. It, by the way, is his. Or you can send it into the black hole abyss of Washington, D.C. It's not real hard. Of course it's going to stimulate the economy as opposed to sending it up there. It's a no-brainer.
But why is it that that's so hard for some people to understand?
Well, I think most people do understand that, except those that have an agenda. And if their power is based on how much of my money they take, regardless of which party it is, and regardless of what their ideology is, if their power is based on how much of my money that they take, they don't like letting me keep it. And I'm kind of an old hillbilly. I like to keep my money.
I don't blame you. I'd like to keep your money too, so... All right, to the person who is in debt, and that's a lot of Americans, and deep in debt, and they're not sure how they're going to make the payments every month. If they say, look, I'm just so deep in debt, I should just declare bankruptcy. Is that what they should do?
Well, sometimes. I mean, sometimes marriage is so bad you get a divorce, but it's not what we'd wish on anybody.
Yeah.
We wouldn't want that for anybody we love. We'd want you to figure out a way to do it otherwise. And, you know, sometimes people just get scared. I've been there. And you know, you stand in the shower with it so hot in your face you can't stand there and just cry because you don't know what to do. And that's kind of what we do with our show, is we just kind of go into the trees and go, okay, look, if you sold the car, it's killing you. I mean, you got to amputate the Tahoe here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's killing you. You got a $700 truck payment. I mean, and you have a $500 house payment. If your truck payment's bigger than your house payment, you might be a redneck. You know what I mean? So you need to amputate the Tahoe, right?
And if you paid more for your dog than you did the truck, then you're really in trouble.
Then you're in trouble too. So sometimes it's just simple stuff, and you look at it and you go, well, if I just got shed of some of the payments that was attached to some of this stuff, and maybe take an extra job. My grandma used to say it was a great place to go when you're broke, to work. and
what a novel idea.
Yeah, and you bring in some more money, you lower the outgo, and all of a sudden this thing starts to work again. It really is kind of sixth grade math. It's income and outgo, and we just got to get more margin in between these two things, and then it starts to work. But there's always that stuff I need that I don't need.
I want to say deep, deep thanks to America's Terminator of debt, Dave Ramsey. And he's always ready to answer your questions and help you pull out of the financial quicksand. You can catch him on his radio show and his podcast. You can listen to that and find help. I mean, genuine help for anything that you need related to money. How to get out of debt, start a budget, save for retirement, buy insurance, and more at his website. That's DaveRamsey.com. It's simple, DaveRamsey.com. I hope you go there and get some help.